All right, so talk about a first episode. We're going to be talking about philanthropy, healthcare, and controversy. Now, again, I'm not one to shy away from controversy. I'm always shocked when healthcare seems to be, kind of intertwined with the controversy. But we're going to be talking about this famous YouTuber, Mr. Beast. You all know him and you've seen his video one way or another. We're going to be talking about how his act of kindness wasn't met with, loving and open arms. Now, again, I'm here truly, Dr. Barry. We are going to be kind of giving the physician point of view of like, what do I see with the controversy in front of us? And more importantly, my personal thoughts on it one way or the other. So just a quick little background before we get to the video. I'm going to show a clip of the video. Obviously, we're not going to show a whole thing, right? Because I'm going to leave that video description in the show notes, which I please suggest that you watch after this video here because it's an amazing video, if you ask me. But we're going to be talking about the controversy of giving people hearing aids. Now, this sentence alone may not be enough for you to be like, wait, there's no controversy surrounding that. But here we are, right? We have Mr. Beast who decided, hey, I'm going to set out and correct something that I can correct. And in medicine, when I tell you one thing about medicine, we love when there's something that we can fix. Now, when I'm taking care of my patients with blood pressure, diabetes, cholesterol, I really can't, I can prescribe medications and then just kind of hope that it works on improving. But very rarely do we get a chance to see something that, hey, I do something and I immediately see the result of improvement. And that's where we're at, right? So let's take a look at his video. Again, it's going to be a short little clip because obviously, right, we don't want to bump any heads on that front. But I also want to make sure, encourage you to kind of follow and check out the video afterwards.
This is the first out of 1,000 deaf people that we're going to help hear again. And she hasn't heard her mother's voice in 4 years. Can you hear?
I love you.
Next, we help Kaylee, Sudi, and even entire families hear their loved ones again. But they are only a few of the 1,000 people that we are going to help hear again today. We got our hands on over $3 million of cutting-edge hearing technology that, unlike old hearing aids, analyzes people's specific hearing needs, allowing them to hear again without causing any damage.
Can you hear me talking now?
Yes.
Oh my God. Wait, he can hear me.
I'm gonna cry.
You just saved my dad's life.
And our 10th person was Aisha.
I used to watch him like a lot. Like
Used to?
No, stop.
What happened?
No, guys, no,
I know
no,
this is over.
No.
Go ahead, do a test.
Mommy.
She can't hear you yet, but she will in 3, 2, 1.
I can hear my baby girl.
I can hear my voice in my left ear now.
How's it sound? He's dancing.
Oh my God.
This is amazing.
Did you hear that?
I can.
At this point, we've helped over 40 people hear again. But on top of that, we wanted to...
So again, obviously I didn't want to do the whole video. It's an amazing video. I promise you that like that music does what the music needs to do. But he goes on to give 1,000 people this life-saving device. And the reason why I say life-saving, yes, they're not in critical condition, but they're going through life not being able to hear someone call their name, not being able to hear their loved ones, their spouses, their children say their name. And unfortunately, and I run into this a lot, especially in healthcare, where a lot of times it's not that the treatment doesn't exist, it's that you can't afford the treatment. Imagine telling your patients, hey, I would love for you to be able to breathe a little bit better, but the medication that is going to help you do that is either going to have you deciding to breathe better, go to the hospital because you can't afford those medications, breathe better, or skip a few meals and can't feed your kids. Those are decisions that a lot of people have to make, especially here in this country. And he goes on across, like, this is not just a United States thing. He goes across the globe giving people the opportunity to hear. And he works with an amazing organization. I'm going to put their information in the show notes, especially for those who may be empowered to watch this video and say, hey, you know what? I want to help as well. Again, you may not be able to spend $3 million like Mr. Beast, but I may be able to give something away for that organization. So he goes on, and he goes on to do some amazing things as well too. Again, I'm just kind of highlighting it. because again, it's one to get you to watch the video, but two, more importantly, understand that he didn't just give the hearing aids. And you would think, hey, I'm giving hearing aids. It's, it's nothing. It's I should be getting pats on the back. That was not the case. And we saw very, very quickly that when he did this video, there was a lot of people who were cheering, and there are a lot of people who weren't so happy with the situation at hand. And it just kind of goes to show you, especially in healthcare, and I run into this a lot, where you think you're promoting, you think you're educating, you think you're doing the right thing, and someone is going to let you know that, nah, we're not cool with that. So let's talk about the controversy. Let's talk about the accusations of inspiration porn. And this might be the first time you heard that term, inspiration porn. And I want to give you an example, because we see this a lot on social media. Let's say you have someone who's disabled, but maybe they're running a marathon. They're doing something that, like, oh, look at them, oh, clap, clap. But then they turn around and use the fact that they're doing that to say, hey, if they can do that, why can't you? Right? So you have that term built in from the disability community that says, hey, you are using the fact that we are disabled to either make yourself look better or to chastise others for not being able to do what we do. Right? And that's what Mr. Beast was accused of. So let's focus on this article here, right? This is a good article. Again, I will put the description in the show notes from the Insider, right? YouTuber Mr. Beast grew to superstardom, giving away money. Now he's pivoting to curing disabilities, but with it comes backlash. So you may be thinking, like, man, hold on. Like, I'm known for giving away money, and he is, right? Especially if you've been on YouTube long enough. But now that I want to help, and to the point where he has a secondary, actually has multiple channels, but he has a secondary channel that's specifically focused on the humanitarian efforts that he provides. And even though he has that there, it's not new. You had a lot of people saying, hey, you know what? I don't know about this, pivot you're trying to do. I think a lot of people were very upset, which they kind of mentioned in the article, the fact that normally these types of videos that he does goes on the philanthropy channel. Not a lot of people are subscribed to that channel. But here he brought this on the main channel, which means he wanted more eyes to see it. And why would you not want more eyes to see it? But let's go back to the article, so we get an idea. Again, this kind of gives an introduction on who Mr. Beast is. He has a whole bunch of followers, and he kind of mentions what I said as far as the secondary channel, Beast Philanthropy, and the fact that he's launched dozens of humanitarian aid projects. And I want us to remember that this is not his first rodeo of doing these types of projects where he says, you know what, I recognize a problem, and I want to help said problem. But then you have kind of where the controversy lies, and I kind of mentioned this. This could be all changing, as YouTuber's newest genre of content has been receiving increasing backlash, embroiling him in accusations of producing inspiration porn and exploiting people for online fame. Mind you, again, Mr. Beast has been famous a long time. This is probably not going to make him more famous, or this probably isn't the reason why he's famous. Right? Donaldson started posting about providing medical aid for people with disabilities, a significant shift from his typical main channel content. And I'm glad they highlighted that, because, again, he has Beast Philanthropy. He's been doing this before, but because he was doing this on the other channel, I guess it didn't really get as much fanfare. Unfortunately, now that he does it on this big channel, people are upset. Right, and we'll talk about why from that standpoint. Like, he has one where he's giving sight restoring cataract surgery. He has one focused on amputees. So again, he has been doing this before. This is not new. Viewers are accusing Donaldson of exploiting people and misrepresenting disabled communities. Right, and this is where the backlash kind of arises. Right, of course you're gonna have people who are cool with it. You're gonna have people who are not so cool with it. Right, from his standpoint there. And again, this is what kind of drew it out, right? So you had a Chrissy Jones, who's a Canadian-based artist who is deaf, who pointed out that hearing aids are not cure and they do not automatically restore hearing. That is correct. That is correct. So again, it's not everyone who can't hear, give them a hearing aid, they're going to hear. Like, that is 100% correct. And they do not depict the actual struggles that many deaf people experience. Again, 100% agree from that perspective there. And then again, I guess Elon Musk was okay with Mr. Beast doing what he does, right? So let's kind of talk about it. Let's bring this back. Here you have, again, I talked about, controversy healthcare, because it just unfortunately goes hand in hand, especially in this time and age. Yeah, Mr. Beast, who says, you know what, I'm going to do what I always do, right? I'm gonna say, you know what, I want to help with the hearing. And there's, again, not everyone who has hearing loss can just get a hearing aid and boom, they're hearing again. But those who can, right? Those, that small subset of patients in the population across the world who just need a hearing aid, but they could not afford it. Here comes Mr. Beast and his organization to say, hey, let me see how I can help. And he does it. And he spends $3 million doing it. And here you have the controversy arise, right? And it's one thing, right? So you have the side of, hey, he's just helping people. Why can't he help people? Why is that a problem? Then you have the other side where he's saying, hey, you know what? Don't use our community to get more fame. And one, I always want to acknowledge those on the side of like the right? Like, we don't want to just brush off their feelings and their thoughts, right? Because that'd be wrong. Right, the disability community has a right to be very cautious when they see someone of any type of fame. I could be, again, I'm a little guy right here. I could be like, hey, they want to make sure even someone like Dr. Barry Pierre is not trying to use them to big himself up. Right, they have a right to ask those questions. They have a right to say, hey, let me make sure that you aren't just here to exploit us and then forget about us. I have a medical degree and a public health degree. My public health brain always makes me think, all right, it's cool to do a mission trip, but if I leave after the mission trip, what services are there to support the people who I've helped during that time? Like, yeah, I'm great for 2 weeks, but when I leave, they need to have some type of system of support there, right? So again, that disability community is saying, hey, I just want to make sure that you're just not here for, a quick little one night stand, get it, hit it and quit it. And then all of a sudden we don't hear about you. You don't care about it. You don't really care about the process. Right. And again, that's why I'm glad that Mr. Beast teamed up with an organization to say, hey, you know what? I am going to team up with an organization who's already doing it. Right. Because again, how am I going to find these people? I'm going to team up with this organization who's already doing it and just needed that financial push to get me over. Now, if you wondering my thoughts, because obviously you're watching this video, you got to this point to say, hey, what does Dr. Barry Pierre think about this? I'm on the side with Dr. Beast. And the reason why is because he has a history of doing this. So this is not something where I'm concerned that he is using this to be exploitative. I'm not concerned that he's using this to increase his level of fame. No, I think he decided, hey, what can I do? Right, that would make a good video project, because that's what he does. Remember, this is the guy who did Squid Games over again. And I think he has like 400 million views. What can I do, right, to say, hey, you know what? How can I help people and, generate great content? And he did that. Like I said, I suggest you watch the video, because not only did he give hearing aids, he also gave some other things. And you got to watch the video to find out what he gave. So I'm on his side here. I understand why there's controversy, but I am on his side. I think it is a magnifying glass on just kind of how we look at healthcare in general, right? I think it's sad that you have these devices, these medications, these things out there that can treat diseases or problems people are dealing with, but because people can't afford them and get access to them, they never get it, right? I think that's more of a slap on the face on us, more than, this YouTuber who comes out and says, hey, I want to provide hearing aids, right? Tell me what you think about it. Please leave it in the description, leave it in the comments, right? I am excited, right, for what's to come, because clearly it doesn't look like he's stopping anytime soon. And you know what? We're going to talk about it here on the channel, right? So again, I'm yours truly, Dr. Barry Pierre. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you hit that notification bell. Do all three. Like, subscribe, notification bell, and I can't wait to see you on the next one.